Hey guys, we are back. We're your resident sports parents, where we talk about what we've learned in the sports arena raising young athletes. In our last video, we talked about Anastasia and the mental blockage that she had with her swim meet, and what we had to do to help her overcome it and help her work through it. And I know it's not like the end. This is something that is probably going to happen again, and we're aware of that. But we've also had issues with O'Shea, and with O'Shea, it's a little bit more consistent.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I think it's.
I do know why, but I'll let you explain why.
Well, that's O'Shea is a different kind of kid. Like that, he's always been a little bit. I don't know if you want to say sensitive or just,
Right.
For whatever reason, he doesn't have the confidence that he should have because he's a really smart kid, very talented, great artist, great basketball player, excellent student, fantastic grades. So he has everything in the world to be confident about. Like, I wish I could do the stuff that he can do. I can't. I never could.
I can't draw a stick figure and make it look good.
No.
He can draw like nobody's business. Like, he can actually draw something and it looks like the person or whatever the character is.
He drew the Biggie crown picture the other day and it looked just like him.
It looked fantastic. But he's always been that way, where if it's not perfect, he's starting over. If it's not perfect, he gets frustrated, and he carries that level of perfection on over into his game, the game of basketball.
I think that's the key point, is that he is a perfectionist. And
yes,
his trainer said just recently, and he wasn't talking to O'Shea, he was talking to somebody else or the whole group. He said, you're trying to be perfect in an imperfect game. Right. But O'Shea, he always wants to be perfect. He is a perfectionist. And that's a hard thing when you're playing a game where you're going to miss half the shots you take, even if you're really good.
Right.
Steph Curry makes 40-something% of his threes. He's the greatest shooter ever. So that means he still misses more than 50% of the time when he's shooting three-pointers. So you have to give yourself that grace, that you're not going to make every shot. You're not going to have a perfect game. It doesn't exist in basketball. Like, you'll have really good games, you'll have average games, and you'll have bad games. But you have to give yourself that grace to not put that kind of pressure on yourself. He puts a lot of pressure on himself. And I think that a lot of times causes the anxiety, and it's a trickle down effect where, like, if it's a really nervous day, you'll see it in the play. And then there are other days when he goes out there and he's got it going and he's doing well and he's fine. But it's a day by day battle.
Yeah, he overthinks it for sure. And that's another reason why we've developed this system. Like, with he and I, we talk all the time. I get to the emotional side. You're a little different. We guys are a little different.
Yeah, I'm a little harder on him.
He's a little harder. I'm a little bit like, honey, let's talk. And one of the things that I find that helps him is watching documentaries. These different documentaries that we watch are basketball based, most of them. Sometimes they're like, we did something with the Olympics, track and field, but they have a bunch of different basketball documentaries where they highlight different players, different moments in basketball. And I remember one thing that stuck out was we watched, and I remember this vividly because I used to, keep up with stuff, was Kobe Bryant, because it was big when he graduated high school and went straight to the NBA. It was a playoffs.
First or second year, he had a horrible game. Shot like 3 air balls in a row.
It was horrendous. Yeah. I was like, what the heck? What is happening? And I was like, see, he should have went to college. He should at least I remember thinking that. But it wasn't, that's not what did it for me. That's not what made me realize, okay, this guy is probably going to be one of the greatest. It's when he came back and he made up for it in so many ways.
The next year, he was I think he trained
relentlessly
all summer, and he came back and he was a different player.
Yeah, and he says it all the time. Don't be afraid to fail. And every once in a while, I'll send him quotes, that I come across, or little Instagram moments that highlights things to help to empower him. There was most recently an event that I just want to share. Let's set the stage here because this is typical O'Shea. Now, we went on vacation. Usually on vacation, we make sure we somehow find ways for him to stay connected. You help him bring the ball. You guys blow up the ball. You deflate the ball. He brings his sneakers. He trains when he's away, and even if it's like to shoot around for
20-30 minutes.
20-30 minutes a day, whatever the case is. So we figure, okay, let's keep him consistent so that when he comes back, it's like smooth sailing. So he has this thing where he chooses who he wants now to take him to training. And I didn't understand why until now. So he says, Mommy, can you take me to training tomorrow? And I said, oh, what happened with Daddy? Usually, because you guys usually go together, and usually he tries to tell me to stay home or sit in the back and not look at him, right? Yeah. And I said, oh, Daddy wants a break. He's like, no, I just want you to take me. I said, oh, no problem. I told him, I said, it's an honor, because usually I feel like I'm on punishment. You don't want me there. Because he thinks I'm too serious. He says, you're too serious, and you're always looking at me. And I'm like, okay.
See, the thing is, I never even see him looking at me when I'm there. But I think with you, he's looking to see if you're disapproving of how he's playing. I
guess I could never be a good poker player because you see everything in my face. If I'm happy, you see it in my face. I'm not a fake person. If I'm not happy, you see that too. Yeah. So I said, okay, fine. So then that same night, he comes to me. He says, I don't think I want to go tomorrow. And I said, why? And he's like, no, just don't feel like going tomorrow. I said, okay. I said, you know what? Why don't you want to go tomorrow? I'm honing in. I'm waiting to hear. I'm not feeling well. I'm waiting to hear whatever. He said, I just want to go. And I said, there has to be a reason. So I look, and with O'Shea, like me, everything is in his face. You can see everything just by looking in his eyes. So his eyes gets bigger and it starts to well up with tears. And I said, what's going on? And he's like, you're going to be mad at me. I said, who's going to be mad at you? Me? He's like, yes. I was like, no, why? And he said, because if I don't do good. I said, are you kidding me? I said, okay, listen to me. I haven't been to work in like over a week. I'm going back to work, in a couple of days. And I know I'm going to be rusty. I know I'm going to mess up. I've been there. I played basketball, and I remember coming off of a break and feeling like so sluggish or being in a slump. It's fine. You just have to push through it. Mm-hmm. And I say to him, I said, listen, don't decide. Don't decide right now. Just take some breaths. I always say take deep breaths. Don't decide. Sleep on it. Let me know how you feel tomorrow.
And let me tell you something.
I didn't tell him.
Yeah.
I did not tell him.
Yeah. And what did I tell you?
No.
He decided that when he decides, that's it. So you should have just told me.
No, that's not true.
So I didn't have to wake up early to make him breakfast so he can go to this thing. I think that's why I was so mad.
No, but here's the thing. It happened before, and it worked before, where he and I talked it out. Like, he said, I'm not going, whatever. And he and I talked and said, listen, don't decide right now. Sleep on it. Just take some breaths, relax a little bit. Maybe you're just tired. Maybe you just need some sleep, and see how you feel tomorrow. Then make the decision. So no, I did not want to tell you because I knew it would be a thing. So I figure we'll deal with it in the morning. Sure. Yeah. Sure enough, the next morning, I was under the impression he was going to go. I think he told me he was going to go. And then again, last minute, I don't think I want to go. I'm not going to go today. I said, well, what? Huh? What? I thought we had this agreement, because that was like, he's like, I just don't want to go. And then what he does when he doesn't want to do something, he does busy work, because he knows what I'm going to say. Yeah. Okay, if you're not going to do something, whatever you do here, if you're going to stay home, it has to be productive. And I'm not talking about getting on the phone and doing video games. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about getting on YouTube and watching videos. I'm not talking about that. So he knew where my mind was. So he had already been doing some homework and reading. But he over here, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't too happy about it. I will say though, in hindsight, I overreacted.
No, but no. Back up, and tell the people what you were saying.
What I was saying at the time?
At the time.
At the time, I was telling him that he doesn't want it. That he doesn't have the drive to be great.
He was inconsolable. Yeah. He was a mess.
Yeah, I was annoyed.
And O'Shea was just like, could you just go over my summer homework?
Yeah, he wasn't listening. When I get like that, he doesn't even.
He like, just tuned him out. He tuned us out. He's like,
until he's done.
Could you go over my sentences? Just look for any grammaticals that, because I read over it, but I think it's okay. But can you just read over this? What do you think? Meanwhile, he's like, I can't believe, and I'm just like, okay.
But the backstory is that he has done this from time to time. Yeah. His trainer is very challenging. Like, it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. We never went through any kind of training like what he goes through every time he goes there. So it's really challenging. So I understand the nerves that come with it. I mean, we were there. He started about a year ago. We were there his first day. He had a complete meltdown. Oh, gosh. It was the hardest thing he'd ever done, and it was about 95 degrees in the gym. He had a breakdown. The coach was very understanding. He went outside. He needed to get out of there just to get it. So
I found him in the bathroom. I found him in the bathroom, inconsolable, and I was like, "What are you doing? We're on the clock. This costs money. What? Yes. Get back in." Because he does this, and I'm like, oh my, because this is something he does all the time, like not out of character. This is just how it is, and I'm like, come on, don't. Okay, it's great, because I always tell him, listen, if you're gonna cry, I'm not saying don't cry, just go in the bathroom, get it out, and then come back out, get it out, and come back out. I was like, it's taking too long, but then he went back in. Sure enough, lost it again.
He went out. Yeah, did he go back in and then go outside?
Yeah, he went back into the gym that day and tried to continue, and then lost it again, and then had to go outside. Yeah. And then we were out there. We saw that he went outside, and so we went outside after him. And the trainer came out and was just like, "You talking to us? You inside." And I was like, "Okay."
Felt like the teacher was telling us the detention or something. Yeah. But he had some kind of a talk with him.
Yeah.
It worked very well for the moment. He went back in there and he finished the training. But I'm thinking he's not going to want to come back here. This is too much for him. And that was our concern before we ever took him there, because we had always planned on getting him here at some point, because it's highly regarded, but we know it's very tough. So that, we talked to him, and O'Shea's tough. Like he gets, like this, but he's also very resilient in that he can push through, and he can he challenges himself, and we asked him, do you want to go back? We're not going to pay a lot of money for him to not be to do this every time. We can't do this every time. Yeah, he said he wanted to go. The second time he's there, the same trainer is there, and they're not going to really give you a break because you get upset, because it's part of building your character, building your mental toughness. I think that's part of their training. That's part of what they do. Mm-hmm. So the second day he's there, this guy was so nice the first day. He took us, sent us back in, gave O'Shea a pep talk, so, got him going. The second day, O'Shea's struggling with something. He's like, let's not start this anxiety stuff.
Get it up. Get it out the way. Yeah. Just get it out. We don't want that here today.
Yeah.
And it's been a process. It's not a switch that gets turned off and turned back on. Like, I don't expect him to just be over it. Like, it's going to take some time, and we work through it. I think the older he gets, the better, because we've seen these episodes. I remember the first camp we signed him up for, he faked an
injury. Yes.
And it was because he was and whenever he'd be running around, and when he's like, oh. And I knew he was full of it. And I'm like, O'Shea, put your butt in there. but I think depending on the situation, there are times when it's not as bad, but this time was like, it was to see it from, because I remember when I was his age, 11, 10, 11, 12 years old, it's like the world is so big and you feel so small. So I get it, but it's something he has to work through, and it takes practice. And he does go back.
Oh no, yeah, he does. He's gotten a lot better. Like this time we're referencing is one of the only times this has happened in recent months. So he's gotten a lot better over the last year. You could see the growth, and I think it was a lot of it is nerves, because like we'd say, he's a perfectionist. He hadn't been there in about a week and a half, so he's thinking, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna be rusty, I'm gonna play bad, and I'm gonna get yelled at.
Mm-hmm.
So he was nervous, but at some point you got to get in there. And what he do? He went the next 3 days. So
yeah, and every once in a while they'll talk to him. They'll reprimand him about something. You see the eyes get bigger, and the eyes get watery, and he'll, are you crying? No, I'm not. What are you talking about? Yeah. No, I'm not crying. No. But meanwhile, he is. But we allow him to take those breaks. Like, we've decided, like one time you said, O'Shea, we're going. And you realized that was probably the worst.
A terrible decision. Terrible thing to do. It was like wasting money.
It was counterproductive, because when he got there, he had already made up his mind he didn't want to be there.
So he was a mess.
It was just like, oh, you want me to go? All right, I'm going to show you.
Yeah, this is not like going to the park and shooting around.
No, this is intense.
Like, they are pushing you for 2 hours. So imagine going somewhere where you don't want to be for 2 hours, and then making you do things physically that you don't feel like doing, and some things that you've never done before and don't know how to do. That's tough.
And that's why I reminded you, by the way, of that day. I said, honey, remember what you said before, that you won't, like, insist that he go, because the last time you came home and said, I should have never insisted that O'Shea go, because he was a mess today. And like the other day, I had to remind him, he's like, okay. But, hindsight, I think him not going was the best decision. And the thing with O'Shea is that once his mind is made up, that's it.
It's done, yeah. But I do think it was the best decision. And I think I was overreacting, because we had just got back from vacation.
Yeah.
Our flight got in late the day before, so we were tired, and I'm sure he was, and that's probably a big part of why. That, and then the fact that he hadn't been there in a week and a half or so, that he was nervous about that, and then at the same time not having the energy that he normally has. So I will take the blame for that. Take the L for that.
Yeah, but it went, and I'm glad we were able to talk it out, because that's another thing I think as a family we've gotten better at. We've learned a lot, just having and raising young athletes, because these are things that we wouldn't even have thought about before, how to deal with. And I know so many other parents like us are dealing with that and may not know or realize how. But I think leaning on each other has helped, and also meeting other parents too, because I'll let you talk about this.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I was at the training that we're referencing a couple of weeks back, and one of the mothers that I was talking to, she recommended this book here, Mental Toughness for Young Athletes.
And it gives a lot of tips on how to get through. And it specifically talked about the situation with Jerry West. He was the Lakers general manager at the time. And he says, Jerry West, in response to Kobe's 4 airball shots of the championship game. Was that what I was referring to? Yes, that was what I was referring to, by the way, earlier, because I remember this. And he says, I believe most definitely that was a defining moment in his career. Do you know why? If somebody would have shot an airball on our team and shot a second one, they ain't gonna shoot a third one. He was fearless. I think that's one of the things that spurred him to greatness. He wasn't going to allow himself to fail. But the point that the author makes in this book, I think, was what did it for me. Jerry West almost got it right, it says. You see, the thing that made Kobe fearless was that he was going to allow himself to fail. I thought that was powerful. Yeah. And this is by Moses and Troy Horn, by the way, Mental Toughness for Young Athletes. So we're going to delve a little bit deeper at another time in this, and talk a little bit more about this book, because I think it gives a lot of key points, and it helps us as parents navigate through this world of sports and raising young athletes. It's quite the challenge, I tell you.
I tell O'Shea all the time, if I was as good as you, I would have my confidence would be through the roof. That's what kills me. It's like, it's not like he can't play. He's really good. He's really good. He's better than either of us ever were, and he's only going into 7th grade. Like he's very talented. Yeah. It's just, I believe that the confidence will come and he'll get over it, but it definitely is a journey. Yeah. And it's a day-to-day thing. Like, it's something we deal with day in and day out. Like, you never know what is going to kind of trigger it.
If you can wrap up a few quick tips on what people can do, is first, like, know when you as a parent need to pull back. Yeah. Because that's something we both learned. Like, just pull back, assess the situation, allow them to vent, encourage them to talk about it. That's something that we have learned, because when we're upset, it doesn't help the situation. It either makes them more upset or makes them shut down or just ignore us. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And also seek help. The professionals, they see this all the time. That trainer, he goes through this every day. He deals with kids having mental breakdowns, even older kids having mental breakdowns. So they kind of know how to navigate through that. I mean, a book like this certainly does help. And talking to other parents who may be going through the same thing, because she was helpful, right?
She's very helpful. Yeah, we've had a couple conversations about it, and she, it sounds like her son goes through the same thing to a little bit of a different degree, but similar. You know, like he doesn't seem like he gets as upset, but she did say that he tends to gravitate more towards certain trainers than others, whereas O'Shea is fine with all of them. There's some that he does better with, but he'll go to any of them. They're all great. But this woman said that her son doesn't always take to everybody. So same thing with different teams and things like that. So
yeah, and that's something that we're going to talk about too, like finding the right fit when it comes to trainers, and how to just connect a little bit more. Certainly, another thing, because I have other sports moms that I talk to as well. And I remember one sports mom in particular, she says, she had her son also see a sports therapist. So that's something that, we talked about. You're like, it's more money. No, but, it could be a good investment as well. And I mean, that's something that we're also considering if it does continue becoming an issue as he gets a little older, because we don't want him to regress or shut down or give up, because we know how much he loves basketball. So
and I also think just positive reinforcement, like it doesn't always work, it's not going to work immediately, but if you're consistently telling them, look, you're really good, you work very hard, you're preparing, you're very prepared when it comes time for your practices or games or whatever, like you're like, give them that encouragement and let them know, like, you're great, like that, because sometimes it's hard. He's a very humble kid, like, so it's hard for him. He's not going to be one of them kids that's dancing all over the court and celebrating and doing all stuff. Like, he's very low key. Yeah, he's going to go out there, he's going to play his game. If he scores 20 points or if he scores 2 points, he's just going to be pretty even keel. He's not going to get over the top.
He's not
cocky.
Flashy.
He's not flashy.
Yeah, he's not flashy
like
guy.
So he's humble, and I think a lot of times he doubts himself, and he doesn't always have the confidence that he should. So that positive reinforcement, like, look, you're really good. Those kind of things, I think it will help over time.
Yeah,
and they don't always believe you right away, but
Yeah, that's true. And one last final thing. I know some people have their skeptics when it comes to this, but I find that this works. Whenever I can, whether he's training, whether he's at a game, I hit record. I record him, because sometimes when you're actually doing it, you don't realize how good you are. Yeah. You don't realize, oh, that was a nice move. Ooh, oh my God, that spin move. And then you like curled it up. What? It's like, so I started recording, and I did this when you were coaching his team. We're like fourth graders, and they were all starting out. And I started recording and making like little highlight reels and putting it together and sending it to the kids. And when he saw, oh my God, I made that shot, he couldn't even believe it. So I find that if you were to every now and again, you don't have to do this all the time, but take it as a win. Show them how good they are. Show them the fruits of their labor. Is that right? Fruits of their labor?
No,
yeah. Show them, oh my gosh, look at how many shots you made there. Look at how you protected the ball there. Look at your triple threat. Look at how you defended that guy. Look at how quickly he ran up the court. It doesn't have to be scoring 30 points. It could be those little tiny wins that are actually big wins when they have struggled with dribbling up the court or getting back on defense. Show them, because I think that gives them the confidence as well.
And it's also something that they can look back on and say, "Wow, look at me in fourth grade, and look at me now." Like I wish we had videos from our days. Like there was no smartphones, none of that.
Yeah.
So we don't have that. So he's going to be able to see his whole lifetime of basketball, in video, which is great.
Yeah.
So it's definitely great for him to see, and they love watching it. Kids love watching themselves do good things. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you have any other tips or any other concerns you have as parents, please share your stories, because we love to hear them. This is a community. We want to be here to help each other, and we want to celebrate those wins and get over those hurdles. Coming up in the next video, we're going to be talking more about how to choose the right trainer, and also more on this book, because I'm going to be reading this. They have some really good points here, and I'll probably be going through it from time to time, because it's certainly helpful. Anything else you want to add?
No.
All right, guys, we will see you in the next one. Don't forget, if you like this content, if you have any more ideas on what you want us to talk about next, be sure to hit us up in the comments, like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.